here, and you can have as many people up there as you'd like. And when we get through with the proclamation, if you'd like to make comments, we invite you to do so. And then after that, you can come up and we'll already be here for photographs. So commissioners, please join me down front. First up will be the Tinsleys.
Mayor, commissioners, audience members. Proclamation reads, whereas Winter Haven recognizes how diversity and inclusion is woven into the fabric of American life and solidifies the foundation of strong communities. And whereas in 2021, the city decided to begin celebrating Black History Month by recognizing local heroes who have made a significant impact on the community. And whereas a group of community leaders came together and identified local heroes that blazed new trails while demonstrating passion, dedication, and empathy or compassion for the community. And whereas one hero will be recognized for each week of Black History Month 2023. And whereas Saritha and George Tinsley are recognized as two of these trailblazers. And whereas their lasting impact in the community has been made by the legacy they created as business leaders, philanthropists, mentors, champions for youth development, and much more to many people. And whereas the Tinsleys would say, to thine own self be true. And these are words that can guide us all. Now, therefore, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, does hereby proclaim the week of February 27th, 2023 as George and Saritha Tinsley Week, City of Winter Haven. In witness whereof, he is hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the city of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 27th day, February 2023. Signed, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor, attested by Latanya Harris, Deputy City Clerk. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Tinsley.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of my wife, Saritha, we would like to thank these commissioners, the city of Winter Haven, those who chose us, and all those, also those who were honored earlier during the month of February. So we really appreciate it. We're glad to be a big part of the city of Winter Haven and enjoy every moment. And thank you for everyone to support tonight. Thank you.
I don't know if Greg Sean Canning is in the audience this evening to receive the proclamation for Irish American Heritage Month. Read this one. This one's a little bit long. Proclamation reads, whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had emigrated to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's war for independence. 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence were of Irish descent, and 3 signers were Irish born. Irish Americans helped to fashion a system of government for our young nation. In fact, 22 presidents have proudly proclaimed their Irish American heritage. Whereas in 1792, Irish-born James Hoban provided the architectural plans for the White House, served as one of the supervising architects for the construction of the Capitol. And whereas Irish-born Commodore John Barry was recognized by the United States Congress in September of 2002 as the first flag officer of the United States Navy. Commodore Barry fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida. Whereas in 1813, Captain Oliver Perry, an Irish American, achieved a major naval victory in the Battle of Lake Erie. And whereas in 1942, the five Sullivan brothers made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy and freedom during the naval battle of Guadalcanal, and later had the destroyer USS Sullivan commissioned in their memory. And whereas the Irish first came to Spanish La Florida in the 1500s, first as missionaries and mercenary soldiers, and then as planters, traders, businessmen, doctors, and administrators. And whereas three of the Spanish governors of La Florida were actually Irish military officers. And whereas Father Richard Arthur, an Irish-born priest from Limerick, who was appointed parish priest for St. Augustine in 1597, the ecclesiastical judge of La Florida established the first public school in America and opened it to both boys and girls of all races. Whereas Andrew Jackson, who famously came from County Antrim, served as Florida's military governor following the acquisition by the United States. Whereas Irish Americans, since America's inception, have provided and continue to provide leadership service to this nation's political, business, and religious establishments. Therefore, it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. Now, therefore, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, does hereby declare March 2023 as Irish American Heritage Month in the City of Winter Haven, Florida. Witness whereof he is here and to set his hand and cause the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 27th day, February 2023. Signed, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor. Attest, Latanya Harris, Deputy City Clerk. I don't know if Mr. Canning is here. If not, we will certainly make sure that is delivered to him. Our next proclamation this evening is for Montessori Education Week. This proclamation reads, whereas through her observational studies of children and the manner in which they learn, Dr. Maria Montessori developed an innovative philosophy and methodology of education in the early 1900s that continues to influence approaches to learning today across the City of Winter Haven, throughout the state, the nation, and the world. And whereas the Montessori method of education allows students to learn and grow at their optimal pace in specially designed environments that nurture the needs and potential of each child. And whereas the Montessori method uses materials, techniques, and observations that support the student's natural development, encourages their learning, independence, and self-confidence, and advances the principles of peace through the responsible citizenship. And whereas Dr. Montessori offered the foundation for modern child-centered curriculum, and Montessori schools have led a positive change in the ways educators, parents, and communities view the children in their care. And whereas the Montessori method includes developmental teaching, one-to-one lessons, and the promotion of respect among the children and peace to humankind. And whereas the City of Winter Haven is home to a public charter Montessori and a private Montessori school. Now, therefore, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, does hereby proclaim the week of February 26th through March 4th, 2023 as Montessori Education Week in the City of Winter Haven, and urges all citizens to honor the contributions made by Montessori schools to students and our community at large. In witness whereof, he is here to set his hand and cause the seal of the City of Winter Haven, Florida to be affixed this 27th day of February 2023. Signed, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor. Attest, Latanya Harris, Deputy City Clerk. And we have some representatives this evening from Cypress Junction Montessori Charter School right here in downtown to present to us.
Good evening. My name is Dedrick Porter, and this is my classmate Harrison. We are here this evening with our teacher, Ms. Kimmy Foster, and our principal, Ms. Kristen Malik. Harrison and I have both attended Cypress Junction Montessori since the 2nd grade.
Hi, guys. I'm Harrison. We're all thankful for our school, CJM. Like my friend Dedrick said, I've been going since 2nd grade. Our schools instilled a strong sense of leadership and compassion in us, which I'm very thankful for. We're honored this evening to receive this proclamation of Montessori Education Week on behalf of our school, staff, and students.
And Mr. Mayor, I believe that the representative to receive our Irish American proclamation is now here. So if we'd like to offer Mr. Canning a photo opportunity and an opportunity to provide comments.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Canning, if you'll just give us 1 minute while we get some order within the room.
First of all, I would like to extend my apologies. It was quite a trek coming here. It took me about 45 minutes to go the first 3.6 miles. I thought I'd be getting here around 5:30. So you can imagine how my heart was going there. But first of all, Rich or Tronona, good evening. On behalf of the Irish American community in Florida, I would like to express my gratitude for your kind consideration in designating March as Irish American Heritage Month. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, is without question the biggest celebration of a national day across the globe. Throughout American and Canadian cities, in Ireland, in the United Kingdom and Germany, in Norway and Denmark, Australia and New Zealand, in South Korea, Japan, Nigeria, and Grenada, and even on the Caribbean island of Montserrat, located in the Leeward Islands, southeast of Puerto Rico. People will be celebrating this holiday and proclaiming themselves Irish for the day. A note of interest, the island of Montserrat is the only other country in the world that declares St. Patrick's Day a national holiday. This proclamation will coincide with festivities that are currently underway as Irish Americans once again gather to celebrate their heritage throughout the state of Florida. During the month of March, Irish Floridians proudly reflect on the legacy of their Irish forebears who have contributed significantly in such areas as education, business, sports, literature, science, engineering, medicine, law enforcement, and the arts. These are just some of the contributions that have been made not only by the Irish, but by so many ethnic and racial groups who came to the United States from the four corners of this world and who have helped assist in developing this great country of ours. As the current Florida AOH State Secretary, immediate past National Director for the Southern States, and past Florida State President of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the oldest and largest Irish organization in the world, tracing its roots back to the 1500s. I would like to acknowledge the esteemed honor Mayor Dantzler and the city councilors have bestowed upon all Irish Americans living within the great state of Florida. Gormachagud, August Elapodric, Behanagwich. Thank you and have a blessed St. Patrick's Day.
Actually, originally from the north. I'm proud. Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, really. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. We do have one presentation for you this evening. This is a presentation being brought to us by the Florida Department of Transportation and one of their consultants, Patel Green and Associates LLC. It is simply just an overview to make sure that you're up to speed with the project that certainly be very impactful and beneficial to our neck of the woods here in Polk County. This is an overview of the Central Polk Parkway project status overview presentation. So with that, I'll hand it off to our friends from DOT and PGA.
Right, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about the Florida Turnpike Enterprises Central Polk Parkway project. We're going to give you a bigger overview than just better? There we go. We'll give you a bigger overview of both the Central Polk Parkway on the east side and on the west side. My name is Stephanie Sharp. I'm the Program Management Administrator for the Florida Turnpike Enterprise. I have with me Pam Nago. She's our project manager for the Central Polk Parkway project. And we have our construction project manager, Monica Sweeney, and Louis Resiglio, our community outreach specialist. And we're happy to take questions at the end if you have any. I'll turn it over to Pam.
So good evening. Again, my name is Pam Nago. I'm the project manager for the Central Polk Parkway Design Project from US 17 to State Route 60 in Polk County. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with an overview of the Florida Turnpike Enterprise Central Polk Parkway projects. We will begin with a short revisit of the project need and history, update you on the status of 2 active Central Polk Parkway expansion projects, and discuss the outreach strategies and what to expect next. Central Polk Parkway, or CPP for short, begins at State Route 60 and ties into the Polk Parkway State Route 570. Central Polk Parkway East, or CPP East for short, also begins at State Route 60. And the intent is to connect to the Point Siena Parkway State Route 538 to the north. 2 expansion projects in different phases of the FDOT project development process. These are 2 limited access tolled expressways that will be initially constructed as 4 lanes with the potential for inside widening to 6 lanes. Both projects are being developed to accommodate population growth, improve regional connectivity, enhance freight mobility and economic competitiveness, and enhance emergency evacuation. Planning for the Central Polk Parkway has been ongoing for nearly 2 decades. 2 PD&E studies have been completed so far for the CPP and the CPP East projects. First being the State Environmental Impact Report approved by FDOT District 1 in March of 2011. That study approved the majority of the proposed alignment shown on this map in black, with the exception of the I-4 connector or connection. The second was the additional State Environmental Impact Report approved by Florida Turnpike Enterprise in August of 2021 to extend the original Central Polk Parkway Segment 1 to State Route 60. There are 4 potential segments in CPP East, starting at the southern end from State Road 60 to US 27, from US 27 to County Road 546, from County Road 546 to south of US 1792, and lastly, from US 1792 to State Road 538. It's important to note that the Central Polk Parkway East is dependent on the Point Siena Parkway Extension Connection Project. A connection to I-4 is needed to meet project purpose and need, a key need being to improve regional connectivity. The Point Siena Parkway Extension Connector Project is an enterprise effort, is currently in the PD&E study phase, and the public hearing is anticipated in April of 2023. The environmental document will be an environmental assessment. The Point Siena Parkway Extension Connection Project is included in the Moving Florida Forward proposal. The Central Polk Parkway has been segmented into 2 projects. The first 6.5-mile segment from State Road 570 to US 17 was let in November 2022 with an anticipated 6-year duration. The second 2.5-mile segment is currently in design and is fully funded. The CPP projects are further along in the FDOT project development process, with the first 6.5-mile anticipated to open to traffic in fiscal year 2028. This is the proposed typical section for the Central Polk Parkway in construction. This project will include 4 12-foot travel lanes in each direction separated by a 74-foot median. There's an 8-foot wide shoulder on the inside travel lane and a 12-foot wide shoulder on the outside of the travel lanes in each direction. The proposed limited access right-of-way for the road will be approximately 310 feet in width, and drainage ditches will be constructed along both sides of the roadway. Please note that the north on this construction project overview exhibit is to the left. The first segment of the 6.5 miles Central Polk Parkway begins at the Polk Parkway and terminates north of US 17 with an at-grade intersection. The new tolled roadway will feature an electronic toll collection system and 1 mainline toll gantry site. The roadway includes a new system-to-system interchange with flyover ramps up Polk Parkway, as well as a diamond interchange at Winter Lake Road, also known as State Road 540. Improvements on Winter Lake Road include a half-mile of roadway reconstruction, median modifications, and new signalized intersections at the ramp terminal. New turn lanes along US 17 will provide access to the Central Polk Parkway with a new signalized intersection. The corridor has 2 preferred pond sites, 4 preferred floodplain compensation sites, and 1 regional pond stormwater management site. This project includes the relocation of the existing Marshall Hampton Reserve trailhead to the new location. Construction of State Road 540 will occur over 4 phases, which includes 1 mile of reconstruction and utility relocation. 4 lanes of traffic will always be maintained during construction. Nighttime lane closures will be restricted to 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. and daytime lane closures will be between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. A detour will be utilized on eastbound State Road 540 for beam erection for the construction of the 3 bridges over State Road 540. Construction includes the use of temporary retaining walls due to the grade differential, temporary drainage, and temporary signal in phase 1. The contractor plans to begin work on the south portion of the project at Old Bartow Eagle Lake Road and work towards the north. This work will include clearing and grubbing, earthwork, and surcharge. To receive the enterprise weekly traffic advisory, which includes the list of the scheduled lane and road closures, please contact the project community outreach specialist, Louis Bersaglio. In addition to the widening of the bridges on the Polk Parkway over DeCasper Road, road closures on DeCasper Road will be necessary. In agreement with the Polk County Waste and Recycling and Polk County Sheriff, the road closure window will be restricted to 4 hours on Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon. This work will be performed on consecutive Sundays until the bridge work is completed. Both stakeholders will be contacted a minimum of 14 days prior in advance of any lane or road closures on DeCasper Road. This is the proposed typical section for the Central Polk Parkway extension to State Road 60. Please note this view is looking north along the alignment such that east is on the right side of the image. This project will include 4-foot wide travel lanes in each direction, separated by a 74-foot median. There is an 8-foot wide shoulder on the inside of the travel lanes and a 12-foot wide shoulder on the outside of the travel lanes in each direction. A 12-foot wide multi-use trail is proposed along the west side of the highway. Please note that the north on this design project overview exhibit is to the left. The 2.5-mile Central Polk Parkway extension serves as the connection between US 17 to State Road 60. The design project alignment begins north of US 17 and connects to the first segment of the Central Polk Parkway, currently in construction, with a new interchange at US 17 and terminates at State Road 60 with an at-grade intersection. The new multi-use trail will be adjacent to this roadway on the west side. The new tolled roadway will feature an electronic toll collection system with toll locations near the ramp terminals at US 17 interchange. Improvements on US 17 include a 1/2 mile of pavement widening and resurfacing, and the closure of 3 median openings and a new signal at the intersection of the new northbound exit ramp. At the southern end of the project, improvements on State Road 60 include pavement widening and resurfacing, and a new signal is proposed at the intersection with Central Polk Parkway. And options are being evaluated for the intersection at 91 Mine Road. The corridor has 6 preferred pond sites, 3 preferred floodplain compensation sites, and 8 mainline bridges and 3 shared use path bridges. This project recently completed the 60% submittal of the design phase, and the project is funded for right-of-way and construction. Design and right-of-way are anticipated to be completed by the 4th quarter of 2024. While the schedule is subject to change, construction is expected to start in the 1st quarter of 2025. Public outreach is an ongoing effort that begins during the planning phase and continues through the construction. The enterprise has held public hearings and public information meetings, as well as several meetings with local agencies and stakeholders, including the city of Winter Haven. For more information on the Central Polk Parkway, please visit the project website at centralpolkparkway.com. So what's next? Segment 1 from Polk Parkway to US 17, construction is anticipated to start on March 1st. The segment 1 extension to State Road 60 will continue the right-of-way process, finalize the design, and begin construction in early 2025. Furthermore, the enterprise has programmed future work in fiscal years 24 through 28 for the Central Polk Parkway East PD&E study and design for the projects shown. We are committed to continue the public outreach and local agency coordination through all phases of the project development process. Easy slide. So, thank you for letting us, let me present tonight. I just wanted to share with you, the team members shown here. If you have any questions, please reach out to these team members. And I would like to open it up for any questions.
Okay, commissioners, questions? Anybody over here? All right, well, thank you. Did a very good job.
So again, Mayor, Commissioners, the intent this evening was this project's going to start having some impacts in, about a month or so there on 17, and I'm sure you'll receive questions that come your way from our folks that are communicating inside and into town and out of town. We'll continue to monitor this as we see it having, new updates. We'll make sure that those come back to you. And if there's anything that you see that you'd like more information from us on this, please let us know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, developments of note, we have none. Commissioners, you have your minutes from the January 23rd regular city commission meeting and that's it.
Mayor,
Yes,
move approval of the minute.
I think we have a motion to approve the minutes as written. I'll close city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak on the minutes, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. Next, we have comments from the audience. We have 4 people that have signed up and anybody's welcome. First up, we have Sandy Rash. You come forward, Sandy. Give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Question, who controls the Eloise Loop Road area where the construction is? On Hoover Road for the new subdivision that's being put in there.
Do you mind speaking a little louder or speaking in the microphone? We're having a hard time here. There you go.
I'm very concerned about the through truck signs that we've had for many years. And now all of a sudden, they have been ignored by requests constantly. We've called the county says to call the city. I'm very concerned when we have the roundabout that I hear that is coming, how a semi truck is going to get around a roundabout. I'd just like to know what you're planning in the future. I live right on Eloise Loop Road and have had extensive damage to my home and the wall of the community where I live. It's taken over a year for them to repair the wall to the community. It's been disaster there. People go 80 miles an hour down that road. And I know because I live right on the road. So I'm very concerned about the congestion, the inconvenience that all of these homeowners have on that road and what's coming next. I just learned about this meeting this afternoon. I need to find out how I can attend more of these meetings because I don't know. But there's a lot of concerns with all the homeowners there as to what is going to happen and why nothing has been done to the traffic in that area. It is a total nightmare.
City manager, you want to take that one?
I'll tag team it. I think Eric can offer some assistance with this. So here's what I know to be the facts, and Eric, please correct me as I may be incorrect on some of this. So this is a county maintained roadway network in this particular area. There is a roundabout that is to go in at the intersection of Eloise Loop Road and Westlake Eloise Road. So due south of Valhalla, where that road comes down and ties back in as part of the Harmony development. I know that that's being permitted through the county. They have done a significant amount of improvement along Westlake Eloise Drive. However, it still remains unimproved where it needs to tie into that roundabout. And I believe there was some additional geotechnical information they were requiring for the permitting. Eric, do you know if that permit has been issued as of yet by the county? Have you?
I have not heard. As of last week, it was, the developer told me that they were very close to getting that permit. I can follow up with the county, our colleagues over there at the county, and also inquire about the signage that you spoke about.
The semi trucks are unbelievable. I mean, and people taking the road blockage signs down and going through there anyway when it was closed temporarily. We've had semi trucks get stuck out there because they couldn't get through. And the speed of the traffic along that road is just unbelievable. Dump trucks by the hundreds every week. And I understand there's lots of construction everywhere, but what's going to happen with this roundabout? I don't see that working real well, and I don't know what the plans are. So that's my concern tonight.
Yeah, we can, if you can get some information from you for Eric, and we'll make sure to follow back up with you. I can tell you that when it comes to the roundabout designs that, and I have not seen this one specifically. However, I do know that they are designed in a manner to accommodate whether it's sand trucks, those large dump trucks you see, or 18-wheel type rigs, that they have the curbing of those allow them to navigate that. But again, I haven't seen that one specifically, but I would have a sense that the county would not permit something there that couldn't be navigated safely.
But still, it's a no through truck section. There should not be any trucks on it, and nobody patrols that or enforces it. So, and it's really gotten out of hand, of course, with the construction, but it's been there for years. I mean, we went to Bartow just to have that approved, which it was formally, and the no through truck signs put up in 3 different places. And now it's got where they might as well be taken down. It's a very much through street. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Next up, we have Gene Reed. Gene, are you still here? Okay. Okay, Billy Rucka, you're next. Give us your name and address, please. You have 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Billy Rurucka. I live at 41 Lake Eloise Lane, Winter Haven. Neighbors with Gene. Can I hand you this? I'm just a resident, but I've got plans for the roundabout. I thought maybe you'd like to see. For those who don't know, that roundabout is, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet from a railroad track. That's probably the busiest railroad track around. Constantly. Trains there at 7:15 in the morning and all times of night stop or going a mile an hour. So we've had, the lady before me was talking about, basically I call it Valhalla Road. Everybody knows where Valhalla is. Westlake Eloise comes in, would come up the roundabout. They've had signs there for I don't know how long, that it was closed. They're working on it. It's gone beyond. It's been closed forever. They had pipes they put underground that weren't done right, then they fell in, so it closed again. And the improvements, somebody said there's been a lot of improvements along there. I don't know what improvements there has been. It's unimprovements, if you ask me. All this development, all these new neighborhoods going in. I grew up in Southeast Winter Haven. I still live there. Been there 55 years. And it's crazy. I don't know who approves. I mean, I'm assuming if you build a neighborhood or a development, you have to have approval, correct? Or supposed to. I just don't understand how we're putting in all these neighborhoods. You've got 653 closed at the end where they're building a new school and thousands of homes going in there. You can't go out that way. You've got Westlake Eloise Loop closed, and then you got a train. Last week, I was there. There's a sheriff deputy going east on Eloise Loop, which turns into Thompson Nursery Road. He had to stop, turn around because the train was coming. And I'm talking about a train that's 45 minutes long at least. So the deputy stopped. I turned around because I had to get to work. So I went back to 27 and headed south that way. And I'll tell you, the traffic last Friday morning and this morning, the last Friday was the worst. All the way from Rifle Range Road. Now, there was no train at this point. But from Rifle Range Road at 7:30 in the morning, all the way on Eloise Loop, all the way, keep going, past Helena Road, past Wyndham, Renaissance, Terra Nova, all the way to the Dollar General, the light there, the Dollar General on, what is that? East Lake Ruby or Lake Ruby Drive, whatever that is down. That's how far it was backed up. And we don't even have these other neighborhoods in there yet. Are we gonna do the roads after all these people move in? And that's gonna make it worse? I'm just wondering who approved it? It's just common sense. It's not gonna fit. It doesn't fit now. It's not gonna work. We gotta do something. The traffic is crazy. Right there on the other side of the backside of Terra Nova, I see there's just hundreds of dump trucks dumping dirt in. I don't know if anybody's done research there or they just approve it. You know, that's the watershed for Lake Winterset. Goes out that way. There used to be, it was all wetlands. That's all swamp right there. Dump trucks after dump trucks. But there's another huge development. It's just, I just don't know when it stops or what we're thinking. That's all. I mean, somebody, do y'all live out there? Has anybody driven Thompson Nursery Road in the morning or been stopped by a train for hours? It's just crazy. And I left work early just to come here. Because Gene told me about it. I just don't know if anybody's saying anything about it. And I hope they do. I hope y'all take notes. I wish y'all would drive there tomorrow morning. Does anyone? School buses, fire trucks, cops, everything. I'm sure I'll pass.
I can empathize. I drive it every morning.
All right. Well, then.
Yep.
So.
You know, Mr. Rucker, I'll tell you, the development's challenged there. There are road improvements out there. A lot of those are county roads that we're working with. Thompson Nursery Road is one of those major realignments that is intended to eliminate some of the challenges along what exists today as Thompson Nursery Road and reroute some of that. It's a chicken and an egg kind of scenario. And
A whole lot of chicken.
Yeah, and there is a lot of development there. So I certainly empathize with what you deal with and our other residents there as well.
I feel your pain, Billy, because I live on Thompson Nursery Road. I know what it's like. You can't get anywhere without those trains.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even got into the environmental part of it. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah, I mean, it's bad. I'm no tree hugger, but I just use common sense. You know it.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Next up, we have Tara Messier. Sarah still here? Okay. You give us your name and address, please. You have 5 minutes.
Karen Messier, 1897 Eloise Loop Road. I live right on the curve between Harbor Estates and Cedar Cove. It is disaster. I have, at the top of my driveway was the pump, the trench where it went around the loop to get to the cleaning station on Pollard. It was closed down completely. Transport tried to turn around in the Orange Grove, truck from Wendy's, 18-wheeler. We were stuck there for 7 hours. They couldn't get a tow truck big enough to take this guy who thought he could turn around in Cedar Cove and that Orange Grove there. It is a disaster. It ended up, we have a sinkhole at the bottom where it turns into Westlake Eloise Road. It took me 2 weeks ago, well, actually, January the 29th. I know JP, if you're there, JP, I'm thinking about you. An hour and 15 minutes from my house to our clinic on 6th Street, an hour and 15 minutes. My husband, to get to the hospital, has to turn left, go on Helena Road, around and all the way to the hospital. It took him an hour and 15 minutes. It's just nuts. We understand it has to be done. We're not against building. We want progress. We want it done correctly. So they have paved Westlake Eloise Road. As you can see, they stopped 6 feet at the northern by Valhalla and about 50 feet. Why can't they finish paving it temporarily? We have been the only road closed for 3 months at a time, 2 months. We were closed a month ago, just after Christmas, they put utility lines in. That closed us down again. We're down to 1 lane. And as you can see this roundabout, I don't know who did this, but they have a 25-mile at the very end. They're hoping for 25 miles an hour. They come off my corner faster than the Daytona Speedway. They hit my 50. They have gone through my trees. One kid flipped the car in the middle of the night. We're woken up. He didn't see the sign and just kept going. Just missed the tree. Thank God he made it. But something has to be done. Open the road. You're clogged at Eagle Loop, I call it into Juanita, and Eloise Loop. You can't get by. And our concern is, what are these trains carrying? 2 times in the morning. Why can't they shift at night? Now we have the canning factory, which you guys have allowed, is going to have entrance off of Pollard Road. When Pollard Road went in, it was supposed to be entrance off 60. So we thought, okay, we still have a neighborhood. Now you're allowing that road is going to open up for the canning factory. So we're going to have, what, 150 more employees, which is wonderful. I'm all about growth, do it right. Think about us. There's people trying to get to work, laborers, all sorts, right across the road, across all walks of life, trying just to get to work. It is a disaster. I have videos, I have email. Jean Reed has done an excellent job talking to the city and the county. You guys, some of you are on the emails. I'm happy to share them with you, but she has been on county commissioner. She knows who to talk to, and it's all on email. It seems to be like it is not you don't own it, but as soon as it's completed, I understand the city of Winter Haven is taking ownership of that road. Am I correct? Eloise Loop or Westlake?
Once it's realigned, the developer is going to rebuild and realign Westlake Eloise road into a boulevard, divided boulevard road, actually be able to handle quite a bit more traffic impacts. But once it's taken over, the county will likely give it to the city. Yes,
So
ma'am.
what I find we're playing is ping pong. County, Jean addressed the county, she says it's the city's problem. You know, you guys have said, well, the city owns it and they're doing the planning on it. We need somebody to take control and make decisions. Help the neighbors. You have to. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. If you want any of these papers, I have them all.
Thank you. Dean, do you want to come back? You're the last one, but anybody else can speak if they're so inclined. You just give us your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Jean Reed, 27 Lake Eloise Lane, Winter Haven, Florida, 33884. I know you should recognize this picture. This is something that I sent in August of 2021. I think, kind of think we were having Zoom meetings at the time. There was a time of some COVID, so I'm not sure if it took place here, Norma Hall, or maybe it was over. But anyway, I sent this. Sure, you can have that. It's a picture of the fire truck next to me. We're both trying to get through the road at Eloise Loop. I was there for over 30 minutes. The fire truck arrived shortly after I did. He was in the other lane, the lane that should have been oncoming traffic. But of course, nobody was going through at the time. And we talked for a while. I asked him if they were on a call. Yes, we are. They would have had to back up for over a mile to get back to rifle range, a mile of traffic behind me. There was just no way that they could get through. I hope whoever had the fire or needed the service was serviced somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe they were able to put the fire out themselves. But this is my concern. It should be a concern of both the city and the county. There is no way that we could be serviced when that train is stopped on Eloise Loop Road. It means it's also stopped on Pollard Road. It's also stopped at Eagle Lake Loop Road, also known as Thompson Nursery Road. That means that any truck, any ambulance, any fire truck, any police car would have to come down to our area by Thompson Nursery Road. We're not a small area. Thousands of people live in our area, tens of thousands maybe. But we're taking a chance that we may not be able to be serviced. We were lucky that nobody was hopefully hurt with a fire truck not getting through, but this happens all the time. Somebody else saw the police trying to get through. What are we to do if there is a huge emergency? What about an evacuation? You know, even a truck trying to come from Thompson Nursery Road can't get through. You've heard it backs up all the way to Lake Ruby Road. It's ridiculous. They can't go on the other side. People are trying to turn around going down the other side. It's a 2-lane highway. This area is overbuilt. And Thompson Nursery Road realignment was needed 20 years ago. It first came up 2002. It's a pity it didn't get built then because it's too late now. And it's a mess. I don't know. I'd like to know how many times you get out that way to check on, maybe you come down to check on the wastewater treatment plant, CSX facility, maybe the new can opening. Just try to get through. I have a letter here I will close with. It's from Julio Otero, manager at the A+ storage at Pollard Road and Thompson Nursery Road. They just wanted to take time to address the congestion issues caused by the train blocking both Eloise Loop Road and Eagle Lake Loop Road. This is an inconvenience for all folks in this area. The train stops in the middle of both roads, impeding traffic on both sides. Sometimes it's a few minutes. Other times we're there for more than an hour, including complete stoppage. The only way of getting around is traveling back around Cypress Gardens Boulevard. But we are still unable to reach our homes or business because traffic is backed up on Thompson Nursery Road, the only way to home or business. On the 26th of January, I was stuck and I could not reach the office for 2.5 hours. Signed, Julio Otero. Today. It's not right. We shouldn't have to live like this. Please do something. Do it now. That letter that's being passed around with a picture of the stuck fire truck, it was first sent to you in August of 2021. In there, I pleaded for the city and the county to work together, for Mike Herr and Bill Beasley to work together, find a solution, get the state involved. Do something.
Thank you, Gene.
Please
Okay.
open Westlake Eloise Drive in the meantime.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else would like to speak?
Are there any other questions? I stand for questions if you have any.
Nope. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the ordinance second reading, public hearing. This is 2307. This is a request by Timothy Campbell. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-07, an ordinance amending chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by rezoning one parcel and a portion of an adjacent parcel from Plan Unit Development PUD zoning district to Commercial Highway C-3 and Conservation CN zoning districts, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. General location, the subject property is generally located north of Cypress Gardens Boulevard, south of Chambliss Road and River Lake, and approximately 3,000 feet west of Cypress Gardens Road. The area covered by this request is 25.99 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor, City Commissioners, nothing has changed since first reading on this. Just to reiterate what the conclusions that were reached regarding this matter. Rezoning of the property will allow for future development of the property as a remnant PUD is no longer developable as adopted with the recent removal of the eastern portion of that PUD. And the maximum development potential is unchanged. Therefore, there's no increase in potential infrastructure demands beyond what is currently allowed. Planning Commission did recommend unanimously to recommend approval of this, and staff's recommending Commission approve ordinance O-23-07.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mayor.
Yes. Thank you. We have motion to approve O-2307 on second reading, public hearing. I'll close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. O-2309, this is administrative request to amend the Winter Haven Code of Ordinance. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-09, an ordinance amending the Winter Haven Code of Ordinances, Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 2, Sections 21-36, 21-37, 21-38, and 21-39 for the purpose of updating development standards, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing severability, providing for codification, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
City Manager?
We had a good discussion on this during workshop in the first readings. No changes. Planning Commission has voted unanimously to recommend approval of this request. Staff recommends Commission approve ordinance 23-09. Again, this pertains mostly to setbacks and other lots layouts.
Thank you. Commissioners? Yes. Thank you. We have a motion to approve O-2309 on second reading, public hearing. I'll close the city commission meeting. Open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. O-2310, this is a request by Desmas LLC. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-10, an ordinance amending chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by rezoning one parcel from multifamily residential medium density R-4 zoning district to Commercial Highway C3 zoning district, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. General location, parcel is located on the north side of Cypress Gardens Boulevard, approximately 400 feet west of Cypress Gardens Road. The area covered by this request is 0.79 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, petitioners requesting see rezone one parcel from multifamily residential to Commercial Highway C3. It's approximately 0.79 plus or minus acres, and they're proposing to construct a 10,860 square foot freestanding emergency room. Proposed C3 zoning is consistent with the surrounding properties. Proposed uses of freestanding PR uses found along Cypress Gardens Boulevard are more representative of the C3 zoning district. Future land use designation is not affected, therefore the maximum development potential remains unchanged. Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval. Staff is recommending the City Commission approve ordinance O-2310.
Thank you. Commissioners? Yes. Thank you. We have a mission to approve 02310 on second reading, public hearing. I'm gonna close the city commission meeting, and open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. 02311 is administrative request to amend the Winter Haven Code of Ordinance, chapter 21. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-11, an ordinance amending chapter 21, article Roman numeral 3, division 4 by adding section 21-154 relating to water conservation standards, parentheses, Florida Water Star Program, close parentheses, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, the Florida Water Star Program was created in 2006, and the goal is to implement uniform standards and guidelines for water efficiency through indoor fixtures and appliances, landscape design, and irrigation systems. Proposed language requires installation of water sense plumbing fixtures for all new residential, commercial, and institutional construction. Provides irrigation systems, design and installation standards which address controllers, sprinkler head type placement, flows. Provides maintenance requirements for irrigation systems, and provides for irrigation exemptions for agricultural activities, vegetable gardens, athletic fields, golf courses, cemeteries, plant nurseries, and temporary irrigation. As of January of this year, 8 cities in Polk County have adopted the model ordinance. It's presently under consideration also by Polk County and the city of Lakeland. At this time, the staff is recommending City Commission approve ordinance O-23-11.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mayor?
Yes.
O 2311.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve 02311. Second reading, public hearing. I will close the city commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. Commissioners, you have in front of you a consent agenda. Yes. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety. I will close the city commission meeting, open public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak to any item on the consent agenda, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen the city commission meeting. Questions, comments, commissioners? See, I had the one question I talked to you earlier about on the creative services continuing contracts.
Yes, so these are very similar to when we do, say, CCNA type agreements for engineering or architectural services. We do a request for qualification to make sure we get vendors who are qualified to provide the services we want. In this case, these are folks that could be providing us videography, it could be web page management or design, it could be promotional campaigns, things that are creative in nature tied to either digital platforms or video platforms or, just general marketing. These are task orders. So that is how the work will be done. So these contracts are put in play. It allows us then, when we're going to do something, we reach out to the vendor who is most qualified to do that from this list or most appropriate for it and get a task proposal for them, at which point there will be a cost associated with that. So if we were going to do some type of maybe a commercial or something of that nature, we would ask those that are expert in that field to provide us the proposal, and we would bring that back as need be.
Who do all these creative, who do they come up under? The city manager, or they come up under?
Though, these all fall under the Director of Public Affairs and Communication, which is, an extension of the city manager's office.
Right. Okay.
But they'll be available. So if Winter Haven Water needs to do some promotional material development, they could utilize this if we were really in any aspect that we have, if we were trying to do some promotional materials specific to the fire department, police department, any of our areas. They
So
would go to
if
use it.
Katrina can't handle it, she can pull in the big guns. Is that kind of the way it works?
That's exactly it. So if you've seen some of the work, we've done in the past, like one of the things we have in our budget this year is to do a brand refresh, to do a web page refresh. These are folks that have the expertise and the time and resources to stay relevant with all the trends in those fields and deliver us something that's going to help us in that regard.
Commissioners, any other questions? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Pose like sign, motion passes. Resolution, this is R 2311. This is a request by 610 LLC to vacate an unimproved 14-foot north-south right-of-way. City Attorney, would you provide title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R 23 A resolution vacating a portion of an unimproved right-of-way consisting of a 14-foot north-south platted right-of-way lying between lots 13 and 20 to the west and lots 14 through 19 to the east of Block 3 replat of Overstreet subdivision as recorded in Plat Book 12, page 8, Public Records of Polk County, Florida, lying in section 29, Township 28 South, Range 26 East, Polk County, Florida, and reserving a perpetual utility easement in favor of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, its successors and assigns, and all utilities having franchise rights in the city of Winter Haven, Florida, to use the vacated right-of-way for utility purposes, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, severability, and providing an effective date. General location, the unimproved right-of-way is located between Avenue D Southwest and Avenue East Southwest, approximately 150 feet west of Second Street Southwest. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is a 280-foot long, 14-foot wide, unimproved alley. There is an active sanitary sewer gravity main within it. Our engineering and streets departments have commented that they will consent to the vacation if utility easement is placed over the vacated alley. There's no direct financial impact to the city request. Staff is recommending approval of resolution R 23-11. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners? Yes. Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion to approve R 2311 resolution. I'll close the city commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and reopen the city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Pose like sign, motion passes. All right, R 2312, this is a request by MAS Development Corporation to vacate an unimproved 25-foot east-west right-of-way. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R 23 a resolution vacating a portion of an unimproved right-of-way consisting of a 25-foot east-west platted right-of-way lying between lots 245 and 260, as shown in the Lucerne Park Fruit Association subdivision, as recorded in Plat Book 3, page 67, Public Records of Polk County, Florida, lying in section 10, Township 28 South, Range 26 East, Polk County, Florida, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors and providing an effective date. General location, the unimproved right-of-way is east of Old Lucerne Park Road, approximately 1,850 feet northeast of the western intersection of Old Lucerne Park Road and Lucerne Park Road, parentheses, State Road 544, close parentheses. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is a 554 foot long, unnamed 25-foot wide unimproved right of way. There's no roadways or public or franchise utilities within the right of way, and no objections to the vacation have been received. Will not impact access to any adjoining property. Staff recommends the commission approve resolution R 2312.
Thank you. Commissioners? Yes. Thank you. We have a motion to approve R 2312. I'll close the city commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak to this resolution, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, motion passes. R 2314, this is for approving and authorizing the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R 23 a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, related to the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Loan Agreement for Project WW 531302, providing for the incorporation of recitals, providing for approvals of Amendment 2 to the loan agreement, and authorizing the execution of Amendment 2 to the loan agreement, providing for legal authority and the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
You, City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, in April of 2021, the commission approved the State of Florida Department of Environmental Protection Clean Water Safe State Revolving Fund Construction Loan in the amount of $11.5 million to partially fund the force main, the reclaimed line, and the fiber optic interconnection pipe. The city and DEP had agreed to expand the project to include the design and construction of the master lift station at Harmony Development. On October 25th, 21, the commission adopted resolution 2143 authorizing the execution of Amendment 1 to that original loan agreement that added to it $10,954,050. The total value of that loan agreement is now at $22,454,050 in contemplation of the expanded project. DEP has determined that certain provisions of the loan agreement need to be further revised to include that semi-annual loan payments as set forth. Again, the total funding amount at the completion of the loan agreement on February 15th, 2025 is $22,454,050. Biannual loan payments in the amount of $572,578 will begin on August 15th, 2025. That will be accounted for and expended out of the Winter Haven water budget accordingly. Staff is recommending City Commission approve Resolution R 2314 and approve Amendment 2 to the loan agreement WW 531302, and authorize city manager and other city officials to execute the same for the city manager or designee to take any and all actions necessary and related thereto. Thank
You, City Commissioners? Yes. Thank you. We have a motion to approve R 2314. I'll close the City Commission meeting. No public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed, like sign, motion passes. Okay, R 2315, this is a request by KB Homes of Orlando. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R 23-15, a resolution confirming the acceptance of improvements, infrastructure, and dedications in favor of the public. City of Winter Haven has notated on that certain plat entitled Lake Lucerne 2, recorded in the office of the clerk of the circuit court in Fort Polk County, Florida, in plat book 195, pages 5 through 8, public records of Polk County, Florida, and authorizing the city manager to release the performance bond posted to guarantee completion of required improvements in infrastructure. General location, the Lake Lucerne 2 subdivision, generally located north of Old Lucerne Park Road and east of Seedorf Drive. Thank you.
You, City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, Lake Lucerne 2 is a 32-acre subdivision consisting of 90 building lots and 5 common lots. The internal roadways are contained within 50-foot rights of way and will be public. All water reuse and sewer utilities will be owned and maintained by the city. Drainage conveyances and stormwater management areas will be maintained by the Lake Lucerne Homeowners Association. The roadways, water system reuse, and wastewater system can now be accepted by the city. Staff is recommending City Commission approve Resolution R 23-15. Thank you.
You, Commissioners? Yes. Thank you. We have a motion to approve R 2315. I'll close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. Next, we have R 2316. This is excusing all absences of Commissioner J.P. Powell from City Commission meetings. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number R 23-16, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, excusing all absences of Commissioner James H. J.P. Powell from City Commission meetings due to Commissioner Powell's health and medical related conditions pursuant to Section 15 of the city's charter, providing a conflict clause and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, as the resolution reads, Commissioner Powell will likely be unable to attend some of the upcoming city commission meetings due to some personal health issues and medical conditions. This could go on for the next several months. It's necessary and desirable to adopt a resolution excusing him from upcoming city commission meetings. Staff is recommending, along with the city attorney, that the city commission approve resolution R 2316.
Thank you. All right, I will close the City Commission meeting. Oh, wait, I need a motion. So, yep. Thank you. We have a motion to approve R 2316. Apologies. Close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen City Commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. JP, we hope you get well soon. All right, ordinance first reading, we have none. New business, we have none. City Commission liaison reports. Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, why don't you start?
All right. I only have a few items and I had the great pleasure of going to the Miss Florida Citrus and Miss Winter Haven beauty pageant contest. And some beautiful women. That's all I can say. I really enjoyed it. I also went to see the Winter Haven High girls basketball team lose in the final.
They had it, didn't
They had it. I still don't know how they lost. They led the game for 90% of the time, but
Was that the first game you went to
the first game,
this year?
second.
Just trying
Oh,
to put
the
a
first
correlation
girls.
there.
No, it's the first girls.
And that's the one they lost, huh?
Oh, don't blame that on me. Maybe I need to stay away from the boys
Yes.
on Friday. Also, had lunch at the Neighborhood Service Center on Valentine's Day. And oh my goodness, they had some great food. And it was just so nice to be at the Neighborhood Service Center again. So hats off to the board and the new executive director. I also had was requested and did so, went to a luncheon at the Polk Correctional Institute for their Black History Month celebration, and I was keynote speaker, so I thoroughly enjoyed that as well. And finally, it's always an honor and a pleasure to go and see new police officers and firemen sworn in. So we swore in 5 new officers, of which 3 of them were females. And so that was good. And then 1 fireman. So that's basically it.
Okay. How about you, Mr. Bryan?
Just a few things, but before I get into that, and I just wanted to ask Eric a couple of things on the speakers earlier this evening on West Lake Eloise Drive. Is there a timeline that road is? Because when I go through there, you got to like go behind the industrial park on that road to get through there. And I mean, is there a timeline on that road reopening at this point?
I spoke to the developer last week and he said as soon as they're issued their permit from Polk County, they will be able to develop a timeline and provide that to us. I'll reach back out this week to see exactly where we are on that permit and the timeline.
Is any kind of, I mean, I know you'll reach out, but ballpark, I mean, is it within 6 months, 12 months, you think? I mean, your gut.
Yeah, I don't think that a roundabout is a year build. I think that's a couple month build on that roundabout. They've already relocated the utilities, so it really is just construction of the roadway at this point.
I know it's a mess out there and I feel for them, you know, and I do think help is on the way. I mean, as bittersweet as that may be, with the realignment of Thompson Nursery Road, and that's going to be with a flyover the railroad tracks. I mean, the help is on the way. And like the speaker said earlier, I mean, it probably should have been done a long time ago. And you can say that for a lot of the roads around Winter Haven. But if you wouldn't mind, could you swing out that way and just kind of give a glance and maybe give a report from what you're seeing and anything that we can potentially do to help that area would be great.
Sure, I and my staff can take a look. Yes, sir.
Thanks. As far as the liaison reports go, I attended the Ritz Theater Board meeting, Taste of Winter Haven, the Winter Haven Black History Month luncheon, Cal's farewell breakfast. That was some interesting pictures and videos there. That did not look like Cal on that slideshow for sure. He was seen a lot younger days.
Amazing what this place will do to you.
You're right. I had Elvis Presley hair before I started on the commission. That was only 3 years ago. So, and then also attended the oath of office ceremony, and that's always a pleasure. And kudos to all those men and women who are dedicating their lives for the citizens of Winter Haven. So thank you to them. Congratulations on a wonderful season to the Winter Haven girls basketball team. And now on to the Final Four for the boys. So that's going to be exciting. And I'm going to stay away. I haven't been at all this year. I don't want the blame to come on me at all. So
I have to say this in my own defense. I have gone to the girls' championship games and they won. At least I've gone to at least 4 of their championships. They've won 9. So I've gone to at least 4 of them. That's number 1. Number 2, the boys' only championship 50 years ago, I was there. So I plan to be there this week too. So I just want to say that. And to follow up on a question, the Thompson Nursery and can we have, because I know at the TPO meeting, they have talked about the 4-lane in it and that it was funded. Can we have them back here again to give us?
Jay Jarvis and.
Yes, I know this year, he made a presentation at the TPO meeting, and unless I'm mistaken, I was told that it was fully funded. In fact, I followed up with it with
All phases.
yes, yes.
You're right.
Yeah, so I and the only thing that I was not too clear on is the time frame for it. So could you maybe have him come back again and give us an update? Thank you.
Tracy?
Okay, I want to talk about the train because I have someone that calls me every time that train is late or whatever holds up traffic. And so I haven't heard from them in quite some time. So I think we were pretty successful with the train. So, and the timing, 5 o'clock in the morning, I think someone reported it. They reported it between 5 and 7 all the time. And so we did finally get that cleared up. Haven't heard anything, so I'm hope this is not. But I did attend Cal's farewell of 47 years. So I think I was here for some of that part of it. I did attend the Black History Month luncheon, attended the chamber off the clock at what you were saying, attended the Miss Winter Haven and Miss Florida Citrus pageant, and police and fire swearing in. I was a little bit late. So it was a great ceremony. We're glad to be there, and we have some very dedicated people, and very happy to meet some of them. Some of the newer ones and some of the ones that have been there for a while. That's all right.
Okay. I'll try to be as brief as I can, but I actually attended the cornhole tournament this past weekend at the field house. And I'll try to explain this to you. There were 33 courts on one side and 32 on the other. That's 65. And there was show court 66. There were 14 courts upstairs. So there were 80 courts. I call them courts. They go back and forth. Well, there were 2 of those. That means there's 160 of those wooden things. And each one had 6 bean bags. So there was 480 bean bags flying around at one time in our field house. And it was, we just couldn't believe how neat it was, how organized it was, and how loud it was, and what a different noise it was. And there were skinny people and there were fat people. There were old, there was young, there was men, there was women, there were children, there was, old. It was just the most amazing mix of people. The only skill you have to do is be able to walk down and pick up a bean bag and walk back. Other than that, everybody can play. And a couple other observations, at least 90% of the people throw their bean bags like a Frisbee, where it spins like that. About 10% throw it the other way. And 95% of the people throw their bean bag in front of the hole and try to slide it in. And very few people try to swish it. But there was one guy, and he had to have won. I didn't stay till the end, but he was a left-handed. He threw the opposite way, of course, like a lefty, and he swished 5 in a row. Didn't even think about trying to slide him in there. So, but those were my observations of cornhole. So fun little observations. So,
Mayor, for what's worth, I think Skylar's told us this morning, that's one of the biggest events that we've done in the field house. And our concession sales associated with that are the largest by far.
everybody in there pulls around a little bag, like a little American Tourister bag. It has on wheels, and I just happened to peek in one of them one time. It was open and there was about 15 separate little bags, and there was a lot of beer and a lot of White Claws and a lot of wine coolers in there, and they had a beer concession. So I think that's probably why we made so much money, because it was a quite an event. You just can't imagine till you see it. So anyway, I went to the Wauchula State Bank Social downtown. Also made comments before the slow roll. If anybody has any, if you can ride a bike, you can participate in this slow roll. It really is fun. These guys meet at the bike shop. There was probably at least 60 people. They'll ride all over downtown. They end up at the ski show and watch a ski show, and then they typically eat somewhere or drink somewhere downtown. So that's always fun. Participate next time, because I was able to make comments, and I was just impressed with how many people show up. Said goodbye to Cal Bowen, was at the Black History Month luncheon as well. The TDC meeting, we had a TDC meeting. And I know about these trains because I live out there, and I'm going to talk about those in just a minute. But just about every time I go to a TDC meeting, if I don't get in front of that train, I have to skip it because I'm going down Thompson Nursery Road and catch the train. So it's real to me too. I did something else that was pretty neat. I don't know if all you guys got an invitation, but Bob Gernert has started a downtown walking tour. So meet at the chamber. It's an hour and a half walk, and he takes you all over downtown and tells you interesting stuff about stories, about buildings, about alleyways, and about all kinds of neat stuff. And he's going to start doing this once or twice a month and raise, I think he's going to charge $10 or $15 a piece. And he's trying to raise money for the Winter Haven Museum down on the lake, on Lake Howard down there. So really is worth doing. I told him he needed to start early before it gets hot, and he had about 10 or 15 minutes out there. We were the inaugural ones to go with him, and it was interesting. So, and Friends of the Library had a big open house and a greeting, and I went there and said hello to everybody, and that was kind of fun as well. Couple of thoughts. Who is the controlling interest, Eric, of all the construction out there? Is it the county? I mean, I heard the frustration, everybody. Who do we complain to? Is it the county? Is it the city? Is it the developers? Who is it? Who is the main people that we can try to affect some change for these folks?
Yeah, so it's an interesting area of the city. Most of the roads out there are county roads. And so the county is the entity who is in charge of driveway access permits and design and construction within their rights of way. The city limits are hit and miss out there. Some of it's in the city, some of it is not. The Harmony development is in the city limits of the city of Winter Haven.
But that's a county
But it is a
road.
county road that goes through the project.
So they're the controlling interest on the road piece
Yes, sir.
until it's finished, and then they're going to give it to us to maintain.
The portion that's being redeveloped and realigned of West Lake Eloise Road Drive.
And that roundabout decision was a county decision,
Yes, sir.
not a DOT and not a city, because we didn't vote on it.
No, it was a county decision.
Okay.
It's an improvement that they are requiring the developer to put in as part of that project. Above and beyond a traffic signal. They evaluated a traffic signal or a roundabout, and they decided a roundabout was the optimal
Got it.
intersection at that location.
What in the county, they're telling them to come talk to us. What are they telling, what do we have control over that we can fix? Anything? I mean, is there anything at all that we as a city commission
I
can
would
do
have to
to help
consult with-
alleviate the pain out there?
Yeah, I would have to consult with our county folks or the folks that were here today in the audience to understand what the county's been telling them.
Okay. Well, whenever we have like having the DOT out here to talk about Thompson Nursery Road, I've been railing about that for years. We're finally getting it done. When we have these kind of things, I think we should try to do a better job of alerting the people out there, particularly the ones that we know are the most unhappy, that were here tonight and others. Let's invite them to come to the commission meeting and say, hey, we got a presentation tonight on the 4-laning of Thompson Nursery Road. Would you guys like to, we just want you to know about it. Because oftentimes we up here, well, we didn't know, you didn't tell us, we know we put up signs or we put it on the Facebook or whatever, but maybe we can do a better job of making sure the people out there that are the most angry or the vocal or whatever the term is that would come, maybe they can come like Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong said, let's get Thompson Nursery Road people out here again and make sure those folks know about it so they can come and hear. And not just to complain, but to know that we're trying to be proactive to help. So, anyway. I'd rather go to a cornhole tournament. That's it for me. City Attorney, you got anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing this evening. I would give my prayers to JP Powell and wish all well. Thank you.
Absolutely. We all join you in that regard. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple items this evening. We will coordinate with Jay Jarvis and his team to bring them in to talk about some of the improvements that they have going on out there. It is a full system out there that has to be evaluated. It's not just roads and roundabouts, it's signalization at places like Helena and Thompson Nursery Road. It's signalization further down at Rifle Range and Eloise Loop. All those pieces have to fold in, so that will be a good conversation to have with them, and we will certainly let Ms. Messier and Ms. Reed and others that are here this evening, as we have contact information for them, share with them when that will be. A couple of things that are coming up tomorrow. There is a public meeting I wanted you to be aware of from 3:30 to 6:30 at the Advent Health Fieldhouse that is being put on by DOT. This is specific to the improvements at US 17 and Cypress Gardens Boulevard and First Street South and Cypress Gardens Boulevard. So if you're looking for additional information beyond what Public Works Director MJ Carnevale provided last week, this would be an opportune time to do so. Community Fest is this weekend downtown. This is the Chamber of Commerce's large community event that they do down in Central Park and South Central Park. That is this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have done one of the 3 grant and aid trainings so far. You may recall that we said that we would require anybody that's going to apply for grant and aid through the city to attend a training so we can explain further what that process is. Katrina Hill from our staff is leading those. The first one was held a week ago this past Saturday. There's one tomorrow and another one that will be held on the 9th of March. Just to give you a little insight, in 2022, 2023, we had 44 applications and 32 of those were funded at an amount of total of $300,000. For this 23-24 cycle, we have had 130 people sign up for the training, representing 102 different agencies. 30 of those are returning agencies, 72 of them are new agencies. So I'm going to be coming back to you at some point, probably in March, and just asking for some clarity and direction. Process is still fine the way we're doing it, but I want to make sure that we can give some guidance to the Grant and Aid Application Review Committee. Last year, the direction was let's try and fund as many as we can, even if it means a smaller amount. They're good with that. We just need to get some clarity on that as we get a little closer and we see what those application numbers are. Last year, we were funding between $2,000 and $3,000 for a lot of our first-time applicants. So it'll be interesting to see what those look like when they come in. And the window for application is March 1st through April 14th. Commissioner Powell did send in a comment just thanking the commission for consideration and for the resolution, and he appreciates the support and all the prayers and thoughts that are with him. And I just want to take a moment of personal privilege, and I just want to extend some kudos to LaTanya Harris. LaTanya has been really just stepping up and taking names as of late. She's been the one-arm person, one arm time behind her back, and they're doing the work of 2 in the city clerk's office, and she has not missed a beat. As you know, Vanessa's been out with an injury for a couple weeks now, and LaTanya has not faltered one bit. So I'm sure that you all recognize that the way our agendas are getting pushed out and public records requests received and processed and all the matters of the clerk's office. She's doing a phenomenal job, and I just want to publicly acknowledge our appreciation for that. Thank you.
Okay, with that, would you like to say anything, Deputy City Manager, City Clerk?
Just thank you very much for all the assistance I've been getting from my team members, also from Vanessa. We wish her well, and I also want to say I extend my prayers to Commissioner Powell. I'm definitely keeping him in my heart, my prayers and my thoughts. And that's it.
Thank you. All right, emergency matters not received for the agenda. Motion to adjourn. Remove, adjourn.